Hi, Scorpios, and welcome to your July 2021 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky to talk to you about the energies coming in for your sign in the month of July. It's kind of a wild month for you. Very strong sense of descending into the heart, strong sense of no longer being able to accept a certain cycle of worry, no longer being able to be caught up in previous relationship drama. It's kind of like a done. There's something that's done, D-O-N-E. It's like Scorpio is just like done with something, and with that feeling of being done, you will very likely manifest an entirely new reality. Okay, so it's kind of off time for an entirely new reality, but if there's a sign that's going to do it, I suppose it's going to be Scorpio. So let's talk about the generation of a new reality. It's pretty wild stuff, okay? Let's see. So first thing that's pulling my attention in this reading, we'll talk about intuitive messages, then I'll get into the week to week and do an extended on Patreon as per usual. First thing that's pulling my attention is actually Ace of Swords, but I'm looking very closely at the Devil and Nine of Swords energy. There's a new idea, okay? There's something that just kind of works with you. There's something that just opens up. There's some type of answer in July, confirmation, some type of like maybe filing or confirming, or even just correspondence as well, communication that sets something. Okay, so any unset, undetermined, unknown is very much disempowered right now. So it's unlikely that you don't know the status of something. If you've been battling something in your mind, like I just don't know if like my business is secure, I just don't know if my relationship is secure, you get corresponded with either by the universe or by another person, and it really will set things straight, I think. You're having a bit of a change of fortune here too. Wheel of Fortune coming up as a major arcana, the Hanged Man, the Devil. I would say that this long-running cycle of stagnation and addiction, if you've been having that, will be turned and pivoted away from, and you might just see that those things are coming as a result of trying to really sell off a lot of your energy to something that's not really you, trying to fulfill a caricature that is not of you. Okay, so caricatures are really being filled in right now. Stuff like reputation, stuff like identity, stuff like collective consciousness, and how an individual is regarded is being filled in. So for that reason, it's always a good warning sign if we're feeling stagnant, or if we're feeling as if we're in some type of addictive cycle. That's always a good sign that the caricature is not really accurate, okay? And it's hard to be, in a world where certain caricatures are favored in certain ways, like that leads us to start to create falsity, but there's a truth, there's an honesty coming in this month, and I think a lot of you are overcoming that. It is possible in the month of July that you could re-encounter a person from the past, especially during Cancer season, or even in the third week of July. You could actually feel betrayed in some way, if you haven't already been feeling this, or you could kind of start to see the past in a way that resembles you being victimized, or that's not really the right word, but seeing that maybe you did have the shorter end of the stick and you couldn't realize it at the time, and now knowing that time was wasted through that lack of realization. We have to be very careful as Scorpio people to not punish ourselves for the unchangeable things of the past. I think that's a huge likelihood for a lot of Scorpios right now, and you need to move on instead. You need to work with the present instead. All we can do is work with the present. Nine of Swords coming up, the Hanged Man, Seven of Cups reversed. There's a lot of mental back and forth, and it just is not actually transcending into the physical. There's a blockage there. There's a blockage of what is thought about versus what is acted on, and I don't know that that's actually changing this month, but it is something that would be visible if it's there, and then maybe all we can do is step into action on our own parts and make the changes that we need to make. But this is a month in July where I want to say Scorpio really sets the record straight, or Scorpio, at least internally, kind of gets it, or kind of knows what they can sustain themselves with. You know, what your talent is something that can be blocked by stagnation or addictive cycles. So as you remove stagnation and addictive cycles, you can really see the talent, and you can really start to activate the rewards of said talent by doing the talent. There's something about talents really needing to be used, okay? What you're good at needs to be being rewarding for you, okay? And how do I want to word this? There's nothing that can really be done at this point about past things. You can do new things. You can create new businesses. You can create new locations. You can generate a lot of new stuff right now. But if you have something that you're worried about that you've already done, that you've already been a part of, that you've already acted upon, I would recommend to really try to transcend that, because that is a waste of energy at this time. It's a waste of energy. By now, most Scorpios should have understood the moral of the story, okay? And there comes a point where it's like, what do I want to say? It's injurious to the self to go over these things over and over again, or to let ourselves lose sleep in this way, or to inflict wounds upon the self in this way by, I don't know, going through old messages or going through old photos or something. It's okay in Cancer season always to do that stuff, old journals, whatever it is, to click stuff. But I'm just feeling you have better things to be doing, okay? Okay, last intuitive message before we get into the week to week. Future tripping and expectations need to be placed to the side right now. I do think there are healthy ways to plan for the future, but for Scorpio, I'm actually going to, this depends on the individual, but I'm actually going to say it needs to be very sidelined, future thoughts and long-term planning, especially if you have an addictive cycle with planning, with strategy, with anything that is very disorienting to the present moment. Because through that, sometimes you can look down on what you currently have, which creates a karmic loop and extends that which we currently have and makes what we want in the future more difficult to obtain. Okay, so some of you just need to do at this time, or just need to act, or just need to free up time in the calendar, knowing that, you know, Scorpio, Libra, Scorpio, and Sagittarius are going to be very put upon in the second half of 2021. So September to December, I feel that there is a, what do I want to say? It's like Atlas. It's like holding the world on the shoulders, okay? And you've got to be healthy for it. You've got to not be in any type of self-sabotage, in any type of self-injury, in any type of illusion, in any type of tendency towards insomnia or autoimmune diseases. Like, all of that has to wash away right now, which I think means that a lot of Scorpios have a lot of work to do this month, you know, but that's it's not hard work. It's tendencies, it's habits, it's stuff like that. It does not have to be so hard. But you're going to have time in July and August both to really feel it out, sense it out, have a bit of a vacation even. But by September, okay, I'm seeing Scorpios outputting at a level that they may have never in their entire lives for some Scorpios, or it's just a different type of output. It's not so customary. It's very old, even. It's regression stuff too, which is not so bad actually at this point in time. But knowing that, I think there might be an addictive cycle to face for a lot of Scorpios this month, and it probably just has to do with outlook or habitual thinking. Okay, you know, the type of thinking that maybe takes so much energy has to really be transcended. And acceptances, okay, accepting of what we have committed to, accepting of what we have spent time on, knowing that there is no really erasing of the past or erasing of what has happened, and knowing that we can only affect our present, we can only be who we are now and create something that we can be proud of in the future is important. Okay, let's talk about the week to week, Scorpio. Week 1, you've got the devil rooted down by Knight of Pentacles. Addictions to money, streams of income, creative ideas, entrepreneurial endeavors. Also, not wanting to take things big, or not wanting to, keeping things small, keeping things at the level of a hobby is possible too. And also things involving earth signs, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, having some type of soul contract with these people that needs to be disconnected from. It's very easy for Scorpio to disconnect from this, okay? You need to think about it in the first week. Any type of contracts, yeah, it's contracts in the first week in general. Some of you need to be wary of what you're signing up for, but also some of you can really create something giving, okay? Like, it's not necessarily good or bad, okay? I can't say that it's bad to sign contracts. I can't say that it's bad to start to create new connecting points. Though you need to think about what the implication of it is and how, and maybe meter your expectations of what comes from it, and definitely get any type of review as well, okay? Week 2, you've got the 9 of Swords rooted down by Ace of Swords. A new idea in the second week of July, a new starting point, a new solution. Okay, you have to give yourself some type of solution, especially if you are really resonating with 9 of Swords, if you are really feeling that it is a maze, a mind maze, you know? Where's the map? Give yourself the exit point if you have to. And, you know, for some Scorpios, if it can't get better, if this becomes something that is like never ending for you, maybe it is time for that therapy, or maybe it is time for that, you know, great astrologer or something to come in and help give solutions. Any type of professional consulting is probably good at that time. Or if things by like the end of July are not feeling different from the second week, or from that, you can also see in the second week of July that you've healed it, that, wow, all this peace washing over me, I found the solution, and now I remember what it was like to spend so much time in freaking out about things, and that has maybe damaged me as a person. So there's maybe a coming full circle about worried or tormented mindsets. With Ace of Swords rooting it down, you're kind of skipping over the 10 of Swords experience, which is cool. Depriving yourself of that difficulty, great. And you just kind of know what you have to do. But for some of you, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't accept what I have to do here. Just allow it to be what it is and move forward. Week 3, you've got the Hanged Man rooted down by 2 of Cups reversed. So getting held up on previous relationship dynamics is likely to need healing at that time. You know, I'm seeing a lot of stagnation here, Scorpios. I'm seeing a lot of like, you know, committing to that which is stable, which is positive, okay? But then with that commitment to stability comes a sort of mindset that can be fearful of changes, which is not what your sign is about. Your sign is about the embrace of change. Okay, so anything that is a commitment to the past, anything that is a commitment to what has worked before, is very, very good, providing that you can still allow yourself evolution through it and that it doesn't stagnate you. Okay, so making this, I think the best way to articulate what's coming up for Scorpio in July is a need. Okay, a need to have it both ways. In a way, to have a certain previous guarantee or a certain previous sign of stability, while allowing a pretty decent, pretty large emotional evolution. That's why sometimes the universe takes stuff away from us, or it dissolves that which we've put a lot of work into to kind of force that emotional evolution. So I just kind of want to prepare you all that happens if we can't allow ourselves the emotional evolution that we need within the structured construct that exists in our lives. That's when those structures get tested. So what I'm seeing here is, especially starting in the third and moving into the fourth week of July as we hit Leo season there, is just really keep an eye out for the universe providing you synchronicities or people coming in that indicate some type of evolution or indicate some type of change, and embrace it wholeheartedly, okay? And really be like, okay, I'm done with this frugality that was actually greed. Okay, I'm done with overspending. Okay, I'm done with this addiction. I'm just done. It can't stand any longer, and I'm very happy to commit to what I already have in my life, allowing for certain new evolutions even in that, but I'm just ready for the emotional evolution, aside from the tangible one. It has to happen because you guys are getting a huge, I think, download of wisdom this month. Because the last 5 or 6 years for Scorpio have been very trying. Okay, we have Saturn coming to that quarter return from when it was in Scorpio, getting 7 years past that time. So there's kind of like a test for Saturn and Aquarius, for that transit for Scorpio that says like, have we overcome that? Have we come past it yet? I'm hoping that we have. Fourth week of July, Scorpios, you have Seven of Cups reversed, rooted down by Wheel of Fortune. A lot of you are just like, okay, enough of this confusion, enough of this building skyscrapers in the mind. I'm ready for a change in fortune. I'm ready for a different life experience. And I would say past the fourth week of July, it looks like a time where you might be moving. It looks like a time where you might be having a change in career or business. They're subtle changes. They're not overhauls. They're not completely overhauls. They're sort of like aesthetic changes. And then for some Scorpios, it can feel more like an overhaul, but it's not one of those changes where like your entire life changes. It's subtle changes that give you parameters in which you can have what you've had with new flavors and new levels, which is one of the most incredible things in the world. Like, that's beautiful. But I know that some Scorpios are like, no, not more of what I've had. You got to find what you've enjoyed about your life, because I guarantee you there's something there. And know what has not been great, and allow some of those things to air out, okay? There's an airing out happening by the end of the month. There's also a need to be in the sun, or a need to be in the ocean, or cleanse the body and purify. Sunlight and ocean water are two of the best things for that. That's why I mentioned those, because there's something kind of dark and dare I say kind of like moldy, like that's Scorpio rules over that, like those dark damp environments that grow strange things, okay? So there's a need to dry it out, to be in the sun, to be in salt water, taking salt baths. If you don't live close to the ocean and you can't get to the ocean, it's a great time to be at the ocean, okay, in the last bit of July. But if you are inland, there are other ways to create that. I mean, you can even do it in fresh water, or take like salt baths or something that like that. But if you can get to the ocean, I would do that. That's a great time for a vacation, actually, and to heal up some of those wounds. All right. In closing for this month, Scorpio, prepare for August, but specifically September, to really be just like a starting over, to really be like a very different version of you. And you are sitting with the last moments of something. Very likely it's the last moments of torment. It's the last moments of self disregard, okay? But it can also be the last moments of a business, or the last moments of a career, or the last moments of a certain loneliness spectrum as well. Last moments of an addiction. And that's why this month is so pivotal, because August becomes sort of a withdrawal process for a lot of Scorpios. It's not that way for all Scorpios, but it's kind of like the energy of that. It's like adjusting to a new world without some of these like toxins. And that needs to happen in August, because there's going to be no time or ability for that in September, because Scorpio has to be ready to be in the world. Scorpio has to be ready to be Atlas a little bit, it seems like, holding up the world maybe, and just really contributing and making up for lost time and doing some unfinished business in a way, along with some new business, okay? it takes a lot. It takes a lot. And it's some of the stuff that you're doing in the latter half of this year and even through the next year. And then in 2024 as well. 2023 is more of a gap year, it seems, at this point in time. Some of this is like big life stuff, okay? Because you're kind of deactivated enough to really do something. It's weird how this works, like the autonomy or the freedom or the lack of concern of others towards you gives you this sort of power. And we don't want to just wield that and, be online all day and be like watching YouTube all day. And I mean, that's fine here and now, but by September, you want to make sure that you are exercising that and you're doing things that really contribute to the future. Okay, Scorpios, let's talk more about that in the extended reading. Let's talk about your timeline and how we are going to prepare ourselves here and now to be ready for that call. We'll look at a central theme, two supporting themes. I also do weekly forecasts over there that are only available over there. You can click the center of your screen now, and it's also linked below. Let's do that extended reading. Have a great month, Scorpios. Bye.